between generating leads and getting quality leads that you convert and deals. And that's why I said in the invitation, how to generate leads without putting an army together, because that's normally the horrible part is recruiting salespeople in a small business or in your business. It's like you don't know, is it going to work out? Is it not going to? The sales guys tells you a lot of long stories and short stories, but the numbers don't do the talking for you. So what this does is it bridges the gap from generating leads to actually getting the leads. So Clinton, maybe just in another way, how much time do you think has it saved in order to generate those leads digitally instead of doing it manually?
Yeah, well, a traditional way would be to word of mouth, WhatsApping, messaging people. So if you had to put it in a time frame, I mean, we could generate up to 50, 60 new leads within a campaign, which then trickles down to, which in specifically this campaign trickled down to 20 paying customers. That was our target, and we ended up with 28 for this month. So you would speed that up from within a week, I would say. You generate those leads within a week, if shorter.
Okay, that's just like superb. Tell us a little bit more about the money that you had to put in and what the ROI is, because I think that's, especially for entrepreneurs, all you entrepreneurs that's watching, that's what makes sense. You want to put money into marketing, but you want to get investment back, but you want to have it a certain X-fold. So tell us a little bit more about those.
Yeah, so throughout the campaign, even as having Jacqueline as a practice client, we were building ratios. So we knew if we had to put in 10 Rand, we would get 30 Rand back. And then we used those ratios and scaled it up. So I literally planned it out, how many people I want to book in the seat, and then put a strategy together in order to achieve that result. So the course helps you in that way, that it teaches you strategy. So I've got a dream, I've got an idea, but how do I fulfill that without applying strategy? So we could then go and say, we're going to do 4 or 5 days, for argument's sake, a live campaign. We're running a special. There's something to download for you. And then you retarget those people. And then you do an email with the email, WhatsApp. And then the end result is you sitting with 50 or 60 leads, which then has to be converted into 20 paying clients. So our ratio ended up being about 30% on the money that we spent. So we spent about 5,900 Rand on Google ads as well as Facebook ads. That gave us then a return on the first month of 38,000 Rand. And they have to come back in 6 weeks' time, it would push it up to 78,000 Rand. So that 5,900 Rand has generated us within a 6-week period, 78,000 Rand.
Oh my freaking goodness, guys. If you think this is just crazy numbers and you're as excited as what I am, what happened for you?
Yeah, so I figured I'd share one with you that was actually a practice line during AFT. So for any of you who feel like you don't, you don't know enough yet, or have any doubts that you can't get people results because you haven't gone through the program yet, I was a total newbie, and like I said, literally knew where to switch it on, and that was about it. And I had a practice client who they did like car detailing services. So they cover vehicles with this protective coating to protect it against scratches and dirt and whatnot. So I did a campaign with them. They spent about 12,000 Rand over a period of about 8 weeks. And they made a profit of about 270,000 off of that campaign. So they, obviously signed me up after this, after the 16 weeks was over as an actual retainer client. I actually let them go recently because they weren't fitting in with my niche and who I actually want to serve. And I'm not really fond of the car detailing industry. It doesn't really get me that excited. But yeah, we got amazing.
How your life changed literally within a few months from when you started in August. By end of the year, how did your life change? Because I think it's that time of year where people think, you know, it's like slump. You know, I don't want to do a lot of hard work. It's like, can we just get this year over and done with? But it's the value in these few last months that you can start 2020 headstrong and financially strong. So wouldn't you mind to maybe share how that changed your life, starting in August and then finishing by December?
Yeah, I mean, if someone asked me this, you know, if someone said 2.5 years ago, or even 2 years ago, that this is what you would be doing today, I would probably laugh at them, because it was definitely not in my frame of reference. I never ever thought that I would start a business like this. So it's definitely been a big shift for me in terms of, you know, just the trajectory of my life. But I think for me, the biggest thing was the fact that I have 3 very small children and a husband that I adore and want to spend as much time with as I possibly can. And this business has allowed me to do that. So I work from home, I determine my own hours, and, you know, I can be at every event that happens in my children's lives. And we can actually, you know, spend time together. There's so much, you know, my husband has actually transitioned into my agency as well. So we're both doing this full time, which is amazing. We get to work together every day. I get these couples or, you know, married people who wouldn't want to do that. But for us, it's been amazing. You know, we just want to be with each other and we want to spend time with each other. And this has definitely allowed us to do that. So in terms of just that, it's been life-changing, but also
where I spoke to you and I told you about 2 of my practice clients that asked if they can become more like on a permanent basis retainer clients, meaning in 12 weeks of skill being taught from scratch, I got the opportunity to have potential return on investment and actually build.
And now the third step is now make the money. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit about it, because I think a lot of people don't really fully understand what is the potential and how quickly can you get to financial freedom. So I asked Johanna to give us a view right now. So Johanna just graduated, he's about to graduate, so you finished, right?
Yeah, I'm finishing week 16 now, yeah.
So he's not even finished yet, right? And he's going to sign up 3 retainers, which he's currently busy with. So I asked him for a view right now, in 6 months and in a year. It's not even considering in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because we all have very short-term goals. Like we want to go to the international trip right now, and we want to buy the car right now, and we want to have financial freedom right now. We don't want to have it in a couple of months. So high level, Johanna, where is that finances with this business opportunity going to put you right now, in 6 months and in 12 months from now? If you had to just give us a high level figure.
All right. So when I went through the course, I didn't have these numbers in mind. Obviously, being in South Africa, you don't think about this type of numbers. And when you spoke about doing $1,000 retainer, $1,500 retainer, and I started doing the math, it actually started making sense for me, especially if you go niche. So I decided on a niche, and to answer the question, within 6 months and 12 months, within the next 6 months, my aim is to have 5 clients of $1,000 in my niche. That would obviously be international, so that will come to about $5,000. And then in a year from now, I would love to have 2 high-tier clients of about $3,000. So then that's additional $6,000 within a year from now. So yeah, that's big numbers.
Those are really big numbers. So let's quickly do a recap. Johanna is going to be in the next week or 2, he's going to sign up his 3 retainer clients, which is going to be on average about 45K, right? That is initial. Starting out of the gates, that's what you start with. It's not like you have to work for 5 years before you get a salary of 40K or that sort of thing. Like Johanna's just graduating and he's going to be earning 40,000 Rand a month, just starting with 3 of his clients. Then in 6 months, he's going to add an additional $5,000. Quickly convert that. I mean, how much is that? I quickly just want to get this.
75,000 Rand.
How much?
75,000 Rand.
So he's going to then add 75,000 Rand to his 45 that he's already got. So in 6 months from now, Johanna is going to sit at 120K a month. That's how he's building up his agency, because that's financial freedom, right? And then he wants to add 2 more clients of 3,000 each by in a year from now, which is another $6,000, which is another 90,000 Rand. Oh my goodness. So in a year from now, quickly just recap. Now, 40,000. In 6 months from now, sitting at 100 and how much did I say? 145,000, and then adding another 90, which is in a year's time, which is over 240,000, 230,000 Rand. And that's how you start with with financial freedom. That's how you build it out. The thing,
Paul, you went after the photography industry or something to that extent, isn't it? Wedding photographers, or what do you specialize in?
Yeah. This is for wedding photographers. But I started actually with a client in South Africa who does photographic tours. So that's where the photography more came into it.
Okay.
But she does a bit of everything, but she'd asked me to help her out with the photographic tours, which I've been doing for a few months. And then, when was it? July, she asked me to run a campaign for a wedding photography side of things. And it just blew the lights out in a weekend. We got 60 leads for her.
What?
So I thought,
60 leads in one weekend. That's
I turned it on
insane.
at 4 o'clock on a Friday morning and looked again on Sunday evening, and it was on 60 leads at 8 Rand a lead. So.
What? At 8 Rand a lead? Okay, now tell me something. What is the average, how many of those leads turn into a sale over time? I mean, in the beginning compared to over time, it obviously changes. But if you were to hazard a guess, what percentage of those leads at $8 a lead turns into a sale?
Well, look, out of those, about 17, because I mean, we try to find out what the guys are prepared to pay. And I think 17 were in the higher end price range. So we're talking over 25,000 Rand for a wedding shoot, which is good. I mean, that's almost a third of them were exactly what she wanted. Then she had to narrow down because she's so busy with other things that she didn't have that many dates available for next year. So she narrowed it down to about 5 or 6.
Hold a second. 17 leads over 25 grand. That is huge. I mean, did people even pay that for a wedding shoot? My love, what did our wedding shoot cost us? I can't even remember. 16. Jeez. Okay, I don't even know. Candy pays this stuff.
Yeah.
So 17 leads at 25K. And okay, so you got 60 leads in total. And up till now, I mean, obviously these things close over time, but how many of those leads so far have come to fruition? Do you know?
I'm not sure. She's been quite busy, and she takes tours to Botswana and all over the place. I've been touching base with her, but she's lined them up with to meetings and so on. But she's been doing this for 29 years, so she says her strike rate's at least sort of 1 in 3 she'll convert. So she'll probably make
if her strike rate is 1 in 5, okay, 1 in 5, it means you buying her paying customer at $40, okay, at 8 Rand a lead. If it takes 5 leads to make 1 sale, it's 40 Rand. And what is the average? I mean, 25K is on the high end. Then you've got the low end. What would you say is a median if you had to hazard a guess?
No. 25 is not on the high end. Up to 40 is on the high end. She only really starts to look at them at around about 20, 25. She should. I mean, if she converts 4 of them out of the whole 60 lots, she's made 100,000 Rand. That campaign cost 400 Rand to run.
How did she react to you providing these 60 leads? I mean, she must have been astonished.
She's sort of. We get quite a lot of leads for her for the tour stuff, or to buy in on her course things that she runs for her tour stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, she was also. I said we've got to turn this thing off at like 30, and she goes, "No, let it run. I want to see." I said, "Okay, I'll give it till Sunday." And then it just blew my mind. And then I just knew. I just thought, "Okay, I'm onto something."
You knew that you're onto something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just thought, now I've actually got numbers and a testimonial. She gave me a great testimonial, video testimonial as well on that.
That's the thing. So let's talk about that. At the time you create 60 leads for her, she can see she's printing money. That's the right time to ask for a testimonial, right? So now, did this testimonial you got from this client help you to secure the other client in the US? Did that play a role?
It had to. I mean, it's on my landing page. My whole ad was about these crazy results. I didn't want to specify that it was in South Africa as such, because I was mainly targeting US clients. But I just said these are crazy results that I've just got for a client.
Life a lot easier. So I'm going to switch right back. I'm going to fast forward you to this comment that you made. We just landed. Your first client in the United States, is that correct? It's your first client you ever landed in the US or outside of South Africa. And that's just sort of $1,500 a month. I mean, that's quite serious. That's, how much is that in rands? That's like 22. That's like
22,000, yeah.
Something around that, isn't it? And not only did you land this, but the person paid you up front the day you closed the deal.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I caught her at exactly the right time. I was running Facebook ads over in the States. And yeah, she was probably the third person that popped through on my MailChimp list, and had set up a meeting for literally that night. There's a 9-hour time zone difference between us. My hours have become a bit random. But yeah, we had a meeting that night, and I sent her a better proposal straight after our meeting, and went to bed, and woke up 5, 6 the next morning, checked my Facebook and my emails, and yeah, she'd signed the proposal and said, "How do we get going?" So it was very quick.
Dude, that is incredible.
Ninja, and that basically equips you with the necessary skills to start a digital agency where you do client acquisition for clients, right? So Karina, tell us a little bit about the work that you did with your practice clients. Give us maybe one story of how those campaigns worked and what your likes looked like and your conversions and that sort of thing.
I won't be able to recall all of the stats from that now, but I can speak a little bit about my practice clients. I had 4 of them. One is Roots Hair Studio, hair salon, the Young Engineers, which is like a training program for children to improve their mathematics and engineering skills and also help them with their schoolwork by playing with Lego and building robots and stuff by integrating the math. And then I also had a barber shop and then a photography practice client. So I got really great results for all of my practice clients. And then after that, 2 of them signed to become retainer clients, which was the barbershop and the Roots Hair Studio. And one of them was not a really great fit. So I moved on to find another replacement retainer client for that. At the moment, I have 3 retainer clients, which is the web developer company and 2 beauty salons. Let me just scroll here because I can't recall the stats from my head.
If you maybe could just give us one specific, maybe their conversions, how much ad spent and how much sales they get, or God, maybe if you just take one for us, just in light of time, that would be awesome, just to get a feel for it.
Okay, so Roots Hair Studio, they did really well. They had, I can't believe that they got away with this ad spend. They didn't spend over 2,000 Rand for the whole of the 4 months training. The likes campaign did so well. I can't remember how many likes, but it was really cheap. It was like 1.20 Rand a like. And they were really impressed with all of these likes, and they already started getting in inquiries just from their likes campaign without the conversion campaign even starting it. And then with the first conversion campaign, it was a 600 Rand deal. Let me just remember this now. It was at 15 Rand a lead. So I can quickly work out because it was 2,000. Let me just work this out. Sorry, guys, I was not prepared for this. Yes, it's almost
marketing math.
Yeah, almost 140 leads that they got in less than, it was within a week or 10 days, if I can recall it correctly now. And it was a 600 Rand deal, 140. Sorry, guys. Yes, they made over 25,000 Rand just from that one conversion campain.
Now, let's
and that was in 10 days, and they were fully booked. They got the sales, they got the cash in their hand. So that's like a lot of return on your investment. Yeah.
Now that is absolutely amazing. Just to recap, took 2,000 Rand, put it in the client acquisition machine, the Rainmaker machine, and that's Karina. because she got the skills. Then what she gave them 140 leads, and of those 140 leads, they converted 25,000 rand in sales in 10 days. Now, guys, that's taking massive action, and Karina was able to do that with the skills that she acquired, which is really, really great. A couple of weeks after that, and by the time you graduated, you already had 3 retainer clients. But tell us a little bit more about your business, like high level. What sort of business do you have?
Okay, well, basically we sell welding machines, consumables, and safety PPE equipment. Yeah, it started up as a little online business, and obviously we got a shop, and built up from there. Now we've moved into a bigger factory. We've got more floor space. So we've definitely expanded quite a bit, and that has happened now within the last 4 months. We've also had our main suppliers actually bought into the business because of all the marketing we've been doing on their brand and how we've picked their brand up. They've now joined forces. So things are getting quite hectic.
Oh, wow. But hectic in like a really good hectic way, because it means more and more orders are coming in. So you are like am I right in saying like in an industrial space, you sell welding machines, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So a welding machine is not what everybody buys. There's a very specific buyer for a welding machine. Like I can account, I've never bought a welding machine. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how it works. I don't know what the on and off button looks like or anything like that. All I know is that it welds, right? So how has that changed your business to know that you've actually generated all those leads but made that amount of sales? Maybe tell the guys who's listening, what was your numbers like?
Well, basically what happened is throughout the course, I was just implementing everything in the background on my own business. I was still running with my practice clients. And when we got towards the end of the course, I actually never sat back and actually looked at what I've been spending and what's going on. I knew we were selling machines, but that's as far as, AFT kept me too busy. So, when I actually sat down and had a look, in that 16-week period, we sold a total of 71 machines. We generated a turnover of 302,224 to be exact. And when I looked at the ad spend, I fell off my chair. It was only 8,275 bucks. So that was incredible. That was also one of my biggest things is that advertising was getting so expensive for us. And
the more specific you can be, the better the results will be. So we changed the campaign to only target parents, well, actually mothers with kids under the age of 6, staying within close proximity of the practice. So just to help the high conversions on, that will be easy for them to go to the dental practice. And we ran a warming campaign to try and bring forth the idea. I wrote a blog for them to say, okay, listen, when should you take your child to the dentist? What is the best time? So all the mothers, and then I target the mothers staying close to us. And we had a crowd, I think it was big, 100,000 people I was targeting. And we had a lot of traffic to the blog. So people realizing, so we established that no trust and like factor throughout the blog. And then we retargeted them with an offer to bring in their kid for free to the dentist. And the thought behind this was, if you get the one child under 6, you get the whole family. So I think it was 2 days that campaign ran. We had 80 leads, then we turned it off. Around 40 people came into the practice, and that's 40 families. So it's potentially, if you say average family has got like, say, 3 people, it's 120 potential clients that actually had from that campaign, and it was less than 1,000 rand the whole campaign. So we did a quick estimation. I think it's 2,000% return on investment for that one campaign.
Well, I'm gonna quickly just read out for everybody else the comment that you just made, Moelman. So Moelman said, "Hi guys, I want to share some success. Just had breakfast with my dentist client. We had a very small marketing budget, so I treated this campaign with caution. He just informed me that the campaign I did for him already made 7,000 rand in sales, and follow-up appointments are conservatively estimated to be worth over 20,000 rand over the next few months. The total campaign cost us 950 rand. It ran for less than 2 days, brought in 80 leads with over 50% conversion rate on leads, 2,000% ROI. Now, this is so significant, I can't tell you, because the one thing where digital agency owners usually get stuck is they battle to keep retainers. And the reason is because they battle to justify the return on ad spend, and they battle to justify the return of you on the total marketing investment. And what's so incredible about these kinds of results, I mean, obviously you had a small budget. It was a very, very small time frame that you measured. By now, that ROI would be much higher. But what's amazing about that is that you can produce such phenomenal return on investment. And as soon as you can do that, the conversation with your clients change. Then they become more strategic. They become more opportunistic. They start thinking about growing their companies. They become less evaluative of you, and they really start, seeing you as an engine that grows their company. But what?
Okay, one of the other campaigns was a CrossFit gym in Secunda. So it's a very different ball game because it was a smaller audience. Typically, if you go narrow there, you're only left with a few hundred or maybe 1,000 specific people to target. So I realized Google wasn't really helping there because anything you search fitness related, they actually came out on top. No one was advertising, but they were already on top with normal SEO. So we tried the Facebook approach. They didn't do as well as a dentist, but we also, if you look at the value of a CrossFit person coming signing a contract, I think they had about four sign-ups, with average 800 Rand a month. And
how long does the average person stay there, Moorman?
Well, the contract was 6 months. So then typically they renew for another 6 months.
Wow.
So what I did in the first year, if you look at it, it's about a 400% return on investment, which we got them, and which is still a great return on investment. But I mean, compared to 2,000%, I was a bit, I think, a bit daft.
Okay, now I need to pause you there real quick. So my head math here, I'm not very good at it, but let's try. So you're saying $800 a month in the first month, and then the average person will renew. So let's just say the average lifetime value is 12 months, right? So that's 9,600 Rand. Okay. And what was your acquisition cost? What did it cost you after the leads, and what percentage converted? What did it cost you to acquire clients per client?
I think it was around 130 Rand.
Okay. Now, so I want to give you this advice, and I want to give everybody else this advice. Return on investment, okay, is the acid test of a good or bad campaign. It's not cost per lead. It's not even the conversion rate of leads. It's not lead quantity. It's return on investment, because all you're doing is you're saying to someone, give me money to invest to find your clients, and that's going to be profitable. See? So what you did, Norman, is you got 4 paying clients at 150 Rand each. In the first month already, each one of those people paid $800. Okay, so you're already sitting at almost a 500% ROI. Okay, in month 1, right? If you take the lifetime value of that, okay, I don't know what the factor is, $150, or 10,000 Rand over 150 Rand, but it's many thousands of percent. So it depends on. Okay, and you had a third practice client as well?
Yes, I had a shuttle services in Midrand.
Okay.
And the focus of the campaign, that was one of the big lessons before we started anything, is just to find out what is your client actually after, what is their definition of success. And he told me beforehand, he wants to get more business from Midrand itself. He doesn't want to, being a shuttle service, the farther he goes away from home, the less his profit will be. So, so we ran a very focused campaign on Midrand. And we did a page likes campaign, which he absolutely loved. So all his page likes came from Midrand itself.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, so he really, I think he got about, I think it was about 400 page likes just in that area. So the whole of Midrand is getting on board his shuttle services. So that was great for him. And he was a bit hesitant to put out too much freebie as an offer, but we actually got a free offer out of it to say your maiden trip will be for free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was willing to take, and for him that's about, he pays 300 Rand then, which is your say typical trip to the airport for more than one person. But he says returning clients is about 70% of his clients makes use of his service again. So
nice.
Yeah, so I think the winnings wasn't exactly on the offer itself, but more on the awareness. Because when the right people start realizing there's a excellent shuttle service close to them, then he got a few buses being booked out for corporate events and also for some other events. Maybe I think there was like a like an old age home wanting to use him to take him to Menlyn for the day and stuff like that. So I think with a few bookings, there was also a return investment. And after what you told me now about how you calculated it, I think it was a bit higher, but I calculated on 400% as well. About that time, we're also within the first month or 2 months.
In the first month, yeah.
And big bookings coming out, but that was also a good one.
Awesome. Well, that's tremendous. I mean, every single one of your practice clients you had success with, and it's the very first time you built funnels, the very first time you built Facebook ad campaigns. So that's brilliant.